Oh no, it's it's not. It's a little after 9. You know what that time means? It's time for the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, happy people. I hope you're doing good. I gotta put on my glasses so I can actually see. All right, there we go. We got. Hey, good morning. I couldn't see you there. All right, so this morning I wanted to, first of all, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. If you got up this morning, you did my workout with me this morning. Oh, wrong arm. There we go. We getting there, baby. A little bit of progress every day. So I want to thank you for getting up with me this morning. If you did, I really appreciate it. I know that it's not easy, but you guys put in the work and you helped me get there. So I appreciate you for it. I really do.
You're welcome for me getting up this morning and getting you out of bed.
I am not lying. She is the reason that I got out of bed this morning. No lie, no lie.
He just didn't want to listen to the music this morning when I was cranking it for my 7 a.m. dance class.
No. He's
like, I'm out of the house.
But in case you guys don't know, and you might know, but let me introduce her. My backbone, my rock, my world, my foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Miss Sabrina Walzer. I know. Calm down. It's not every day we get to have a celebrity on here, but I just want you guys to, know who you're talking to here.
Look, we lost viewers.
It's okay. They'll be back. You know why they'll be back? Because they just couldn't stand the greatness. Their eyes could not behold what was in front of them.
Oh, Lord.
But this morning, I just want to say thank you so much. We appreciate you. And just to let you know that, your support is what helps us achieve our dreams.
Very true.
So thank you.
Yes.
So this morning, my love, I wanted to ask you about how do you feel about the possibility of schools and what's happening with schools? Like the fact that kids are now like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been doing a lot of research this on the last week. And a lot of schools right now, school districts are considering not going back to the traditional schools.
Yeah.
It's been so much cheaper for them to operate without having the actual schools open that it makes it to where they don't have to spend as much money. And a lot of schools right now are considering staying this way. Yeah. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning. I wanted to see how you guys felt about that. How do you guys feel about being parents out there that, you may not have the school to help you with daycare and food?
Right.
How do you guys feel as parents out there that your children will no longer have the social interaction that they once had? They won't even have recess.
Yeah.
They won't have, I get that they're getting school, but I want to know how you guys feel out there about the fact that your children won't interact with other children now. Think about the long-term effects of this social distancing on our children. They want to take the schools that they're in now and they want to keep them this way because it's beneficial to their profits, to the money they spend. That should tell you how important your children are to the people that are making these laws, that are making these decisions. Think about that. That when it comes to the future of your children, these people are more concerned about how much money they spend than the future that they're willing to give your children. But this is my idea, and this is why I wanted to talk about it this morning. I'm considering going and collecting all of my favorite teachers, all of the teachers that have made a difference in my life, and working with them to put together a group of teachers to create a school that is the best possible version of their online schooling. Mm-hmm. To where they can see the other kids, that you put together times for them to be together and spend time together, social events, sporting events. Those things are important. Yeah. I realize that right now, so many people are putting values on, school books, and the education is very important. But without the people around you to interact with, that education is just a repetition of knowledge. Unless you have the people to literally discuss it with. You're just reading. There's no education. You could stay home and read the book. Education comes from interaction. Education comes from the social connection that we have that forms bonds. That's what we're supposed to be learning in school as well. Not just the knowledge, but we're also supposed to learn how to be human beings.
Mm-hmm.
School is where we learn how to interact with people like work. People where we learn to respect people.
Right. That's what I was just about. That's what I was thinking was like just your morals and your skills, the yes ma'ams and no sirs, the being polite to each other, to not see people for who they are and what's inside, I mean, that's kind of what you do in a school too. You interact, that people have lifetime friends that they met because of going to school. Like,
yes,
people that they grow up with and they end up being friends with and become family with, things like that. Like, and that's going to be taken away from them. I know when I was reading it, because of us wanting to have kids and everything like that, that's something that we have to decide is if we want them to go to public schools or homeschool them and things like that, the different options. Well, now it sounds like they're going to be homeschooled because
you're not going to have the option.
The things that I've read and I've seen personally, I don't know if it was for Georgia because I get a lot of stuff from back home too, and like Virginia and that area too, but they were saying that the kids are going to have to be they're locked in a room all day. Like they're going to be in rooms together, social distance, so 6 feet apart to their desk instead of being close to each other, where we used to pass notes to each other and things like that. Like that shows our age, but things like that. But they're going to be like pulled away from each other, so they're not going to get that interaction. They're not going to get that emotional. Some kids go to school to get that, to get that attention, to have that love felt for them, and now they may not have that anymore either. So it's pretty wide, that's for sure.
For some kids, the only chance they get to have love and connection is at school because their parents are so busy with work. It's hard for their parents to give them the attention that they want and that they need. And those kids are going to school to have that interaction, to have that connection, to have that love, to have peers, to have people on their level. If you're only spending time with an adult as a child, you don't know what a child is supposed to do. You're just imitating the adult. Right. Believe me, I am an advocate for homeschooling. I am an advocate for homeschooling. I believe that every parent should take an investment in the future of their children, and they should be the people teaching them what's important in the world and what history to pay attention to, not just some random person that, gets chosen by the government.
Right.
You should be the one telling those stories. I believe that. However, I also believe that children need interaction with each other, which is why even if my kids were homeschooled, I would never keep them at home. I would want them to go out and interact with other children. So my question to you this morning is, what do you want for your children? If this is the future, if they're going to be in online classes in your house, how does that affect you? Does it affect you that you now need daycare? Do you now need daycare in order for you to go out and get a job? Does it affect you in the fact that that they can't get the one-on-one coaching and teaching that they need and the attention that they need? Maybe it's the food. Maybe the food of you having to feed your children on a regular basis when they used to go to school is financially hard for you. Why would you choose as a society to close down schools? And what's the benefit of either side? What's the benefit of the traditional schools? There's some serious negative aspects to going to school in a public school. Like bullies, segregation, judgment. Most people become their worst self in public schools because of the influence of the people around them.
Mm-hmm.
How does that weigh out versus not having any social interaction? How does that play out to you? I want to know in the comments. I'm going to go back and read them. I want to know, what does that mean to you? If this is the end of traditional education, This is the end of people going to a building to go to school. Could that give access to people to take Harvard classes that couldn't afford to be in the building? Or could that offer college courses to kids that don't have the means to go to the colleges? But in the same aspect, how does that affect our children when they are in the development phases? If they don't have that social interaction, how does that affect them? If they don't learn to be a part of society, they only interact through a keyboard, how do you think that will affect them? Mary says she loves your hair, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I was sitting there patting it because it does. When you braid it like that, boy, your head gets to itching. You don't want to mess it up. We patting it. Thank you, though.
Yep, absolutely.
It's beach day here. We're going to the beach.
Beach day. But that's the whole point. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about this morning. If we create a school for kids and or adults, what do you want to see as a part of that school? Put it in the comments right now. What's important to you in a school? I know that we all went through the school, and I know Priz, you're a perfect example. Like public schools was not good for you. It was not healthy for you. What can we put into a online school that can create so that doesn't happen? How much will it change our children if they don't have to wear the same clothes as everybody else to fit in? How much does that affect the people in society if the schools change to an online education? Once again, will the attention be better or be worse? If someone's not there to watch the child,
right,
is the child going to do the work? How many kids are going to take their smartphone and put it up so that, they're sleeping in their bed, but it's a video of their smartphone. I put up a TikTok about this. But a video of their smartphone, and it's just them sitting there with a video of them nodding like they're listening.
Yep.
But they're not. Kids are smart. Kids are smart. Dude, I used to wear sunglasses in class so that I could close my eyes and sleep, but no one could tell. And you know how long it took before my teachers
That's a
actually...
really good trick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I started snoring. But kids are smart. They're going to adapt. Do you think that they're going to be able to adapt quicker to get around online courses? I do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to figure out a way around that shit real fast. While we're trying to catch up as the older generation, they're going to be like, but
that's very
was traditional schools working? What do you think? Was traditional schools working for all of us? I think it fails us. I think it fails us at every turn. I cannot stress that enough. I think they try and make you a cookie cutter, and that's why the people that I love the most, the people that are not that cookie cutter, that don't fit in that box, those are the people I love the most. But those are also the people that struggle in traditional schools because they don't fit into that cookie cutter mode. They're not the jock. They're not good at school. They're not worried about everybody else, and that causes friction.
I'm a prime example of that. I can say that because I can remember being a kid and having trouble reading, and I can read and everything. I mean, I'm perfectly fine. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself and everything like that. But because I had trouble doing it, they put me in this group, which led to me feeling like I wasn't good enough. But here I am today about to start my own business and everything like that. And because of things like that and those things being put on kids at a young age and things like that, here I am 32. I could have been 22 opening my business if I wouldn't have had all of that. I had to go through some of that.
Right. Negative reinforcement.
But once again, you flip that around. I'm happy that I went through it because now I feel twice as strong sitting here. So.
And that's the whole point of the discussion. There is no right. There is no wrong.
No.
I just want to discuss it. I want to know how you guys feel about it. I see out there, I have Mary, I have Priz, I have a couple of parents out there. I'm dying to know, do you think this is going to be better? Do you think
Stop.
do you think the online courses will give the direction that your children need? Or do you think that your children will take advantage of the situation of using technology and to not be effective with it? How do you think that's going to play out? Do you think books are more important? Do you think having the physical book in your hand cause you to pay more attention than if it was on a screen? I mean, I'll tell you right now, personally, when I'm watching a computer, it's real easy because of watching TV for my brain to go, this isn't important. I can watch this later. Like my brain's like, just go ahead and lay down.
Yeah.
Like that, because I watch TV and my brain is trained to think that it's not important, that it's just entertainment. So I ask you that. How do you think it's going to change the way they look at the knowledge that they're given? If it comes from a computer and not a teacher, do you think they're going to pay as much attention? Is it going to hold the same gravity? When we're teaching them, because I personally think that the teacher is the whole thing. I think the books don't mean shit. I honestly don't. I think that I could give you the best book in the world, but unless I give you the motivation and the accountability to keep reading the book, you're going to read one chapter and put it down and never know that it's the greatest book of all time. Yeah. Someone's got to tell you it's the greatest book of all time. You've got to see the passion from someone about the topic in order to pay attention.
Well, and it's also that connection too, like he's saying, like, because as soon as you said that took me back. And then let me tell you, I'm going to take you back to this moment, okay? Because this is how impactful this teacher was for me. It was my junior year of high school, my first day of school. I was in the front row out of 5 rows of desks, and I hated it because I didn't like being up front. But I was in the front row, and I can tell you what was it? Oh my gosh. It's where they try to be number one. Oh my gosh, what is the term that I'm trying to use? I can't think of what it is, but if I find it, I'll let you guys know. But anyway, it was pretty much, it was that he was trying to tell us that this term was that everybody was number one. This country was trying to be number one, pretty much, whatever the term was. I'm gonna have to look it up and then comment below to let you guys know what it is. But anyway, because of this teacher, I still remember that moment because he was a larger man, had glasses, very, very moody in the mornings. I had him at the beginning of the morning too, first period. And I would go in and he was so groggy in the first few minutes when we would do like the Pledge of Allegiance and they would do the morning announcements and things like that. So into his coffee. But as soon as he got done with that, it was like he stepped into a completely different role and he became the characters. He became the presidents. And that day, I want to say it's imperialism, but I don't think that's what it is. Anyway, he took a big foam finger, like what you have at like sports events, and slapped me in the face of it, in the face. And I never could, like right now, I'm surprised I can't remember it because that is something that I'll always remember. And I'll always remember that term. Because of how much passion he put into it, are kids really going to get that now? Like, do you see that same message that he was trying to get across to me? Like, this was also a guy that when I dropped, I never had straight A's. I had straight A's through his class because of it too. Like straight A's. And when I dropped to an A-, he was pissed at me because he knew that I wasn't an A-, that I was an A or an A+ student. And then I needed to get my shit, literally told me to get my shit together because he wasn't going to have it. Because of that, my parents never did like anything like that. They were strict on me, but they would have never been able to break that for me to understand what it was and to really, really be passionate. Government class. I hated it. Like, I didn't like talking about it or anything. And he actually made me interested in it and want to do it and enjoy the projects. And I kept straight A's through his class. And kids aren't going to have that. They're not going to have those relationships with those teachers. Yes, they will because they'll have, the computer, but it's just a face,
And once again, another question. That connection, is that something that as parents that's important to you? Is it important to you for your child to build that relationship with that teacher? You know, like how much do you think that teachers is important to the process? You know, yes, of course I can connect with someone through I'm connecting with you right now through a camera and a laptop. But if you were here, how much different would the experience be? If you were right here in the room and I was like, let's go, and you actually felt the reverberation and the excitement and the passion coming out of me versus you having to get it from my voice through a camera. You know, do you think, honestly, that someone can have the same effect that a teacher had on you through a camera? And if you do, tell me what you think that teacher needs to do so that I can know to look for that when I'm looking for them.
I mean, obviously they have to be rambunctious like that, because as soon as you said that, it took me back again. That's why I giggled. Was that this man once again would come into class, and like I said, he was a large man. But by the end of my class, the first period, he would have sweat stains in his shirt because he was so rambunctious and so passionate about what he was doing. He was running all around. Like one time, almost lost his pants because he was moving so fast through the room because he was charging. I remember that too. It was one of the battles. I think it was the one that he was telling us about Gettysburg, and he was charging through with his little invisible sword that he would have, but almost losing his pants. Like if you. I mean, once again, it was something I didn't really like. And I know kids nowadays have that, you have to hold their attention, and that's going to be hard to do. If it's not something they really like to be into, I don't know how well it'll work for them. Like, and I know that we're trying to do the social distancing and being safe, but I feel like they really need it. Like,
how much is social interaction a part of our education? That's really the question. How much does social interaction influence the operation of our education? How much? Can you learn something without ever applying it in your life with other people? If you don't discuss it, are you truly learning it? Or are you just reading? What's the difference between reading and education? If you get on there and you read something and you read a book and you don't discuss it, is that education? I mean, some people would say yes, some people would say no, that without the interaction of the thought into the operation and discussion, that it's just an opinion. And that's true. Most knowledge is an opinion without the operation part of it and discussing it. I get that. I know that it's not easy, but without that interaction, does education really happen? Like if you go through and you have the best education, the best books, but you have a horrible teacher to enforce the operation of it, what happens to the education? Does it get delivered to the child? Does the child actually start to make a difference? Those things are important. Those are the things you need to think about when you're deciding what is important with your child's education, what's important with your education. Because what they do now with our child's education will be the future of all education. You think that they're going to send kids in elementary school and middle school and high school on a computer, and then they're going to pay for universities to be open? No. If we accept this now as a form of education, it will become the future of all education. Think about all of the teachers out there that make the impact in person. Can they make that impact online? I mean, personally, I think that's going to be real hard. I think that's going to be real hard to try and make that connection with someone without having the ability to actually see and feel the reaction that they're having to your education.
We have all kinds of critters around our house. There's a deer outside.
Mm-hmm.
See it in the bushes?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, there's a deer. We have a deer watching. We have today on the show. Yeah. We got the deer. No, I'm just
we had a squirrel the other day that was eating a nut up in the tree. We have armadillos down here that we didn't know were down here. We've got all kinds of critters in our yard.
Right.
Anyway, side note.
So we always have a live in studio audience. Yes, is what you're trying to say. Very true. Luckily, they're not humans.
We're the Disney princesses and princes or kings or whatever that have all the animals come to us and they listen to.
Yeah, that's totally us. This is how we connect with humans.
Yes.
Humans, we connect through, computer technology. Animals, we connect with them online. We're just like, hey. But that's what I want to leave you guys with today. I want to leave you with not only how does this affect decision and this shift in education affect you, but how does it affect your children? How does it affect everyone's children? How does it affect the future of education? And what do you think we should do with it? Do you think the same people that created the past education format that created the school system should be in charge of creating the new school system? Did they do right with the first one? Or do you think that I personally think we need to have kids as a part of this. I think that we need to have children be a part of the design of what's going to work the best to keep children engaged. Everybody's like, take their phones away from them. Take their phones away from them. If their phones are in their fucking hands, use their fucking phones.
Yeah.
Teach them how to use it right. Teach them how to grow from it. Teach them how to learn from it, not just to be on there on Facebook and you wasting their life. It's the same thing as a computer. If I gave you a computer, you could change the world with it. You could grow and be better with it, or you could sit there and watch porn with it. So if this is here, if this is their computer, if this is their laptop, stop fighting it and use it. Make it so a kid doesn't have to, go to a laptop or be separate. Make it so 3 kids can get together and take class.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the whole classroom, but how much would that change it? What if 3 kids got together and took class together? Almost like a workout. When you guys work out, you want an accountability partner. You want somebody in there doing it with you, right? So maybe that's the answer. Maybe the answer is smaller classrooms, or even taking children that are in the same online courses and having them come over to your house and have that social interaction with your kid. Christ, how many people out there are sitting there right now stressing over the fact that they don't have a job, that their kids are always home? Listen to me when I say this. Become a good teacher and bring the kids to your house. Educate them in a way that makes a difference. Make money and make a change and never have to fucking go back to work.
Amen.
It's all in perspective, people. It's all in how you're looking at it. If you look for a problem, you will find a problem. If you look for a solution, you will find a solution. Stop looking for the fucking problems. There's always going to be a problem. But if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. So think about that today. Let it sink in. Put it in the comments. Let me know. What do you want to see as the future of the education system? What do you want to see as the future of who we are? Because this is a crucial decision as a society. Where this goes will determine where we go. I personally think personal interaction is everything. What about tutors? What if you brought in a tutor to educate them on the class that's happening on the computer? I want to bring this up. I want the discussion. I want to see if you'll understand. I want to see what you come up with. I'm talking to you, the parents. Your children are the future of our world. Your future is now. And how we educate them makes a difference. Make the decision to make the right decision. Do your research. Don't just go off of what everybody else tells you. Put in the work. I love you. This is Davina.
I love you.
We love you, and we hope that you have a great day. But I wanted to just give you that little bit of food for thought for today. Yeah. Perspective. The future is now. Decide what you're going to do with it. It means more now than you'll ever understand. So, I love you.
I love you.
Hold on. Pay attention.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. and witness my growth, our growth. You know what I'm saying.
The growth.
The growth.
Everything.
And I want you to know that today is not going to be an easy day with everything going on. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but I want you to know one thing. Hate is a choice. Choose love. I'm going to end it right there.